Hey guys, welcome back. I am going to show you everything that I eat today. I have been thinking about making these types of videos more often, maybe once a week or every other week, just because I feel like it's the best way to share the widest variety of recipes at a time. So let me know what you think down below, or if you'd prefer a different format for my recipe compilations, that's fine too. But today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. This is the third in a series of 4 that they have kindly offered to sponsor, so I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end, per usual. But for now, let's start our day. So I just got out of bed. I've always struggled with staying hydrated. I just can't get super enthusiastic about drinking water. So what I've been doing recently is just adding hydration into my morning routine, and it's been very effective. I like to have apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of this in some filtered water first thing in the morning. This sort of kickstarts your digestion. It is alkalizing. It tastes absolutely disgusting, but I'm told that once you do it for a while that you sort of start to get used to it and even crave it. You can add fruit juice to this as well. Like I used to add pineapple juice or lemon juice with a little bit of stevia. I kind of just chug it to get it over with, so we're gonna do that. Okay, another thing I've been drinking every morning for the past like two-ish weeks is a greens powder, and I have a couple different kinds, but my favorite one is this Thrive one. I like this because it has pineapple and lemongrass in it, so I don't have to add it to a smoothie to make it taste good. I can just drink it with water. I'm not really a smoothie person, at least at this point in my life. Obviously, I would agree that it's ideal to be getting your nutrition from whole plants, and I still do eat a good amount of greens in my diet, fresh greens, but this is sort of like my insurance. I don't take a multivitamin, and this has a lot of good stuff in it, so I figure it can't hurt. Morning hydration is out of the way. I'm having a really simple breakfast because I have 2 recipes planned for lunch and dinner, and I know that if I cook a fancy breakfast on top of that, I will hate my life because I love cooking, but not that much. So I just made some oatmeal, and then I added a few tablespoons of unsweetened coconut yogurt for our probiotics, a sprinkle of chia seeds to thicken it up, sweetened it with maple syrup, and then I was going to add almond butter, but last minute I changed my mind, decided to add peanut butter and cacao nibs. I really like that combination. So this doesn't look super appealing, but I promise it's really good. I always like having my oats cold. It kind of reminds me of like pudding, like rice pudding. I used to love rice pudding. And then I'm having that with a homemade matcha latte. This is one of my favorite things. I feel like matcha gives me just the right amount of energy. I like to make my matcha lattes in a blender bottle. So I just add a little bit of hot water with my matcha, and then some unsweetened plain soy milk that I warmed up, a couple drops of stevia, sometimes I'll add vanilla, and then I shake it up, and that makes it super frothy, like as if you bought it at a cafe for $5, but you made it at home and it's cheaper. After breakfast, I'm gonna start working, and then a little bit later I'll walk to the grocery store and pick up a couple of ingredients I still need for lunch. And I'll check in with you at lunch. It's been a couple of hours and I just made lunch. I made barbecue pork spring rolls. Obviously, the pork is not pork, it's jackfruit. I'm still in my jackfruit phase. I don't know what to say about it. I've probably gone through about 50 cans of jackfruit since Trader Joe's started stocking it. Before this, I was in like a hardcore cauliflower phase. So just bear with me while I get this out of my system. What I did for this was just gave it a good rinse, and then I put it in my cast iron pan with some vegetable broth, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, and lots of black pepper. And I let it simmer and get soft for a good 20 to 25 minutes until all of the liquid just cooked off on its own. At that point I mashed it. This is when it sort of starts to take on the look of shredded meat, and I stirred in some barbecue sauce. The one I'm using right now is just this organic original recipe barbecue sauce by Annie's. It actually says vegan on the packaging. And then a step that I like to take is to finish it in the oven. So I spread it out on a line baking tray and I bake it for about 25 minutes in a 450-degree oven, and I give it a stir every couple minutes or so. This just cooks out the extra moisture. It allows some of the sauce to caramelize on there. It makes certain bits of it crispy, and then it firms up the jackfruit so it has a nice chew to it, and it's not just mushy. While it was cooling, I prepped my veggies, so I had some julienne carrots, some strips of cucumber, avocado, and then I had some leftover rice noodles. I made a Filipino rice noodle dish yesterday for dinner. I also shredded some lettuce, but I just realized I forgot to even add that, so I will eat that tomorrow or later today. I threw together this really easy dipping sauce with soy sauce, rice vinegar, squeeze of lime, a little bit of minced ginger. I just had ginger paste from a jar. Then I also had, what else did I add? A little bit of brown sugar, some chili flakes, and some cilantro and green onions. So actually that sounds like a lot of ingredients, but I didn't measure anything. I just kind of like, you know, tasted as I went. The sun is coming out for the first time. It's been so cloudy all day. I wanted to get like professional shots of the spring rolls for my blog, so I actually brought out my studio lighting because it was so cloudy. So there's the really pretty spring rolls in the dipping sauce, and then the ones that I'm eating are just the leftovers that didn't fit on the plate right here. But I'm glad the sun came out. I'll probably take a walk after I eat lunch. I've made so many spring rolls in my life, but I'm still not very good at wrapping them super tightly, so I can't cut them in half like they do at restaurants without them kind of falling apart. So if anyone has any spring roll wrapping tips for me, leave them below. Look at the avocado fan. I was very proud of that. Okay, fast forward a couple of hours, I ended up making a gigantic pot of potato and corn and split pea chowder for dinner. I was kind of just improvising. Pretty much just all of the veggies I had in my fridge I chopped up and threw in there. I boiled it in better than bouillon vegetable broth, which is my favorite kind. Tossed in some bay leaves, some onion and garlic powder, and nutritional yeast. And then I added some split peas that I had boiled earlier, and this just boosted the protein content of the soup and made it a little bit creamier. And then this step I took in my previous What I Eat in a Day video with the tortilla soup. Just take out a couple of cups of the soup, puree it, and then stir it back in. It makes it super duper creamy. And then I added in a whole container of frozen sweet corn. I stirred in a handful of fresh spinach, let it wilt, and then I served it with some toasted sourdough bread. Okay, you cannot tell because I'm under a carport, but it is raining really hard right now. I just got done at the gym. I did a leg day. What did I do? I did a little bit of everything. I did some cable squats, cable pull-throughs, wide stance leg press, hip abductor, lying hamstring curl, and calf raises. I do train calves usually. I did not feel super great while I was working out. I think because I just ate way too much soup, which is a very typical Sarah problem. But I'm gonna go upstairs now, and I think I'm gonna have a little bit of dessert. I had this chocolate tart that I made for a Christmas party. I got it out of a cookbook that my friend Gretchen from Gretchen's Vegan Bakery here on YouTube is releasing very soon. She is an amazing vegan chef. She used to own a bakery that was not vegan, so she's like classically trained, knows everything there is to know about baking. So she sent me an advanced copy of her cookbook, and the recipe I tried out was this chocolate ganache tart. So for this, it's a really simple crust. It's just some cocoa powder, some flour, some vegan butter, and then her original recipe called for orange marmalade, but I ended up putting in a layer of raspberry preserves just because that's what I had on hand, and I really like raspberries. And then the ganache layer is really simple, 2 ingredients, just chocolate and some plant milk. So I brought this to a Christmas party and I had a little bit left over, and I've just been, because it's so rich, I just have like a little sliver every single night. So I'm gonna have some of that, probably a little bit of peppermint tea, and then I'll probably go to bed. Hey, I forgot to sign out last night, so I just wanted to come back and quickly say thank you for watching today's video, and thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. I've touched on them a couple times before, but they're an amazing all-in-one platform for website design. I use them to design my recipe blog. I am a paying member, have been for the past couple months. I love it so much. I've used a couple of other website design platforms, and I find Squarespace to just be the easiest, most intuitive to learn. You can choose from this huge variety of templates that are all beautiful, and then on top of that you can customize, and their 24-hour service customer support is an added bonus on top of that. So if you're interested, you can check out squarespace.com/sarahsvegankitchen for a free trial and 10% off your first purchase. I'll have it linked down below, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see you soon. Bye!